What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and if you've been paying attention to Fortnite for the past few months, maybe even years, you've heard about first-person mode being something that has constantly been worked on, leaked here and there, them working on restricting certain skins from showing up, with their hands and everything because of their skin hands being too bulky or whatever else. Tons of little changes here and there over the past year or so with first-person mode in Fortnite. And while we don't have a true first-person mode as of right now, we've kind of had some things added to the game over time, such as optic scopes that you're able to equip on weapons if you have weapon mods that kind of would serve that same purpose of allowing you to actually use first-person mode in Fortnite. If we can actually find an actual optic mod in one of these chests right here, I can show that to you guys, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be on my side, right? If we go over here, will this have it, please? Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about though, right? You know how there's the whole first-person scope that you're able to use in the game? Well, that is a early version of their whole entire first-person mode that they wanted to eventually release in the game. And we've had leaks about it constantly. People saying it was supposed to release with Chapter 4, Chapter 5, etc, etc. It seems every chapter it's supposed to officially release in the game, but they have officially come out around the time of us having the last Unreal Engine showcase event and talked about this whole entire thing going on by basically saying, hey, we are working on this, it is going to come out, here's a short little clip of them using the Chimera ray gun and everything in a creative map, and it will be something that you're able to actually use in creative mode to make your own first-person experiences where people are able to see in first person with every weapon possibly available. I mean, we have the scope right here, so you can see this is kind of first person right now, but imagine, oh hi there, but imagine if instead of just having it available when you have a scope, even when you aimed in with something like the Sovereign Shotgun right here, you were through the view of your character's eyes instead of being a little bit further away. That's the whole entire point of what they're doing here, and it does appear like it is set to still release towards the end of this year in creative mode. However, it's not going to be officially fully supported as of yet. According to recent leaks that have come out and posted over on Twitter by Sheena, we have the following bits of information to talk about Fortnite's first-person mode. 1. Some weapons will have custom reload animations that only show up when you're in first person. If you guys play another video game such as Call of Duty, you may know how some of those reload animations are made in a way where you're able to actually see it from your character's perspective. Even when you inspect a gun, sometimes they have unique reload animations that only really make sense from that first-person perspective, and it appears like Fortnite's going to be adding that unique perspective effect to some of the weapons that they put in their game when they release this first-person mode as well. But also keep in mind that when it releases, and this is also one of the actual things that I've kind of mentioned, not every weapon is going to be supported by default. Of course, some things like older weapons like Chimera's ray gun are going to be supported because they've been working on it for a long time. However, some weapons aren't currently prepared for first-person mode, so dual-barreled weapons such as the dual micro SMGs right here won't be supported in first person, and on top of that, we won't actually have support for the ballistic shield, at least not right now. It could come to the game later down the line as they continue to update, new things here and there for its actual support in first-person mode, but at least when it officially launches in creative mode later this year, it's not going to allow you to use those type of weapons. This also includes like dual pistols and all those old dually weapons that we've actually seen before, so keep that in mind. And then some features such as swimming, gliding, and skydiving will still use the third person's perspective. So if you're gliding down, you'll go from third person to first person once you actually land on the ground. So it could be used for a little bit of an advantage here and there depending on how you actually use it, especially how they get implemented into different maps. But of course all this stuff could change in the future as they can continue to update it over time and implement more and more support for different features and stuff here and there for this first-person mode. Now, the only important thing to kind of mention besides all this information of what is and isn't supported is the fact that it will be an experimental feature for now when it officially launches, meaning once it releases in creative mode, you won't see people making first-person maps. I know that sounds odd. It's like, what do you mean people won't be making first-person maps? Everyone's asked about first-person for the longest time, and the reason why is because Epic Games is going to be restricting it. When you actually make a map that is using first-person mode, you won't be allowed to publish it, at least not by normal means. It's similar to like how the Fall Guys creative stuff happened, where the Fall Guys creative aspect where you're able to create your own stuff using the Fall Guys, system was put into UEFN first, but you weren't able to actually publish any of your Fall Guys maps as of yet until an update or two later. And that's what they're kind of doing here once again, is a soft launch where UEFN creators will have access to first person mode. They can play it privately on their own, mess around with it, figure out how they do and don't want to implement it into their maps, but they won't be able to actually release a map using that first first person mode as of yet, but later down the line, in an update or two later, they will allow those creative maps to eventually be published. And then this is kind of their way of, getting it out the door early, allowing people to kind of mess with it before it goes published in its earliest state possible, and allowing them to get some last minute bugs actually fixed out there, and even bugs that they wouldn't even have thought about searching for until the community has gotten their hands on messing around with it. And then once that is finished, and once it's kind of been finalized and creative can have their own little, first person maps officially supported by Fortnite, then that's when we can expect them to see this whole entire first person aspect end up more and more in Battle Royale. Because as you guys may have remembered, when we started talking about first person mode originally, it was never supposed to be a creative mode thing. It was always leaked to be this codename of Varg, and how it was going to have its own Battle Royale LTM and all this type of stuff, even though now LTMs are kind of more of like a rare collaboration type of thing or event specific type of thing nowadays. It is something that they originally planned to use for Battle Royale. It wasn't something that was originally planned to just be a creative mode aspect thing, so who knows, maybe by releasing this in creative mode first, we could later down the line see them do something similar to like what they did with the Fall Guys event, and make it a Battle Royale event as well. Maybe a limited time mode, maybe they get some feedback on it and they turn it into its own mode similar to how Reload is its own mode, and then we end up seeing the whole entire launch of a whole new system of modes put into the game with tons of different combat aspects. I definitely think like a first person mode could work more if Epic Games wants to do kind of like a small map team deathmatch domination type of system similar to what you have with like Call of Duty. Maybe that could be their way of competing in their own sense by having this first person action put into its own game mode that is more of a PvP based system instead of a Battle Royale based system. But that is something I thought I would kind of mention to you guys because it is some important information, such as the fact that once it originally launches, you will see videos here and there about it, but it won't be able to be published and played by the normal user as of just yet. And they are working on changing up some animations here and there so that there's custom reloads, there's third person whenever you're swimming and stuff, so that you're not kind of just looking downwards while swimming, not being able to see anything. So it's only a matter of time until this comes out, and it is nice to hear that we are getting a lot of information regarding how it's going to work, so that we have everything we need to create our own maps once it does become available for us. So until next time, hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and until tomorrow, peace out.